Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the story of JJ. A lot of you saw JJ in my Ipsy unbagging. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys like everything that happened with that. A little disclaimer. I'm not here to judge anyone else. I'm not here to discredit anyone else. I'm not here to hurt anybody else's feelings. However, I am going to speak on the emotional damage and the effects that this whole situation has caused from my point of view. So let's get started. So JJ came to me in July of 2018. It was July 18th of 2018. And I know JJ's biological parents. So my mom was dating JJ's biological grandpa. And me and my mom had talked about it a lot. Like, we didn't know where he was. Like, we were there the day he was born, but we didn't know where he was. We didn't know like what was happening, or because they lived in Taos, so we had no idea where they were. Like, it was just this big crazy ordeal. CYFD comes to our house and says, hey, we found them, we have the baby, and we would like for somebody to go ahead and, take on the challenge of raising a toddler. Obviously it didn't go like that. There was a lot of legal stuff that had to get done first. But that being said, everyone in the household agreed that, bring him on. From that day, me and JJ bonded so crazy. Like, it was so crazy. I have known since I was about 6 years old that I wanted to be a wife and a mom. And, at 20 years old, I didn't think I would have either of those things. So JJ came into the picture, and he was about 1.5 years old. And, it was great. We bonded. It was the summer, we went swimming, we did all kinds of stuff. It was great. And I had just graduated high school, so at this point I was just kind of living my best life until I started cosmetology school in the fall. It took a little while before we could get JJ into daycare because he technically wasn't a foster child, but he was still a CYFD case. I would take him to daycare, me or my mom, and I got out first, so I would pick him up from daycare, and because it was kind of on both of our ways, so depending, if I was running late, or it would usually be me because I didn't have to go to school until 9. I didn't have to be at school until 9 o'clock, and she had to be at work by 7, so I would usually take him, but it kind of just depended. And I would pick him up from daycare, and we'd go home, play, eat, bath, bed every single day. Fast forward about 2 months later, my mom and JJ's grandpa broke up. This time was so scary to me because we were already super, super close. Like, we had bonded. I was scared that JJ's biological grandpa was going to keep him and we weren't going to be able to see him. That wasn't the case. JJ ended up staying, and he, slept in my bed with me every night since the day we got him. He, had his little crib in my room. Like, we genuinely loved each other as if we were each other's own. Does that make sense? Like, I loved him like he was mine, and he loved me like I was his mom. And, you know, going to the store or whatever, people would be like, oh my god, your son is so cute. And I would just laugh and thank them because they really didn't need to know the story. So I would just thank them. And everyone tells me, you guys really kind of do look alike. But I don't see it, but anyways. I planned his birthday for him, his second birthday. It was almost themed. We had a face painter. We had, balloons, and it was a pajama party. It was so cute. Fast forward to when me and Alicia rekindled. I was living in New Mexico and she was still in Florida. She had called my cousin and was like, hey, I'm coming home for the holidays. You guys saw that story in my last video. So yeah. That being said, she came, and I didn't let JJ meet her right away. That was my biggest thing, was I never let JJ around just anybody, you know, just people, you know. If people would be like, hey, let's hang out, and I didn't necessarily, like, I wasn't close with them, I would not, either A, not hang out with them, or B, not bring JJ around them. I do want to say that my mom was a huge support system for JJ and I. She, you know, knew how close we got and how much we bonded, and she was never cruel about it. She was never, actually both sides of my family, but my mom the most, because, you know, if I wanted to go hang out with friends or whatever, she'd be like, okay, you'll just make sure JJ's in bed, and then you can go and, you know, come back when you come back, and, you know, as long as it's before he's awake, that kind of thing. He had a lot of attachment issues. He was scared to be left alone by himself, so if he woke up and I wasn't there, he would freak out, and I learned that from the beginning. That was just one of the many adventures we had. He also had a delay in speech, so he can speak a little better now, but when we first got him, he wasn't saying anything. He would just cry, point and cry, and we just couldn't understand him. JJ got tubes in his ears. You know, we did everything together. Everywhere that I would go, people would just assume or know, like if it was in the daytime or the early night, they would understand, like, okay, yeah, like she's gonna have JJ. Like, he came with me everywhere, to birthday parties, to funerals, to everything. He came, you know, he was the ring bearer at my wedding. Like, he was so cute. Anyways, okay, fast forward to when we were getting married, me and Alicia. She always told me, if you're not ready, you don't have to. I don't want to take you away from JJ. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to take you away from JJ. I don't want to take you away from JJ. After we got married, I stayed in town for about another month, because my wife had to come attend to some work stuff. That last month, I really had to mentally prepare myself for the goodbye. It felt like a piece of me was being taken away before it actually happened. I didn't want to say goodbye, you know. I wanted so badly to bring him to Florida with me, but I knew at that time I couldn't do it because, one, we weren't financially stable enough to do that, and two, it wasn't good timing. I had to swallow my pride and say my goodbye, and it was the hardest thing in the world. To this day, my wife will tell me that she feels bad for taking me away from him. And I'm not mad at her because she didn't take me away from him. The plan was to, you know, save up enough money so he can get out of the apartment, get a little house and, you know, get him back and raise JJ the way that we had wanted to do. And now that we have done that, it's a lot harder than we thought. JJ's biological grandpa said he wanted to take on that role. And I fell apart because I love him and I wanted to be where he went next. I wanted him to come home to me, to his honey mom. That's what he calls me, his honey mom. I felt like I would never have that chance again. So we had went home, me and Alicia went home in the end of December, beginning of January, and we were keeping JJ for the whole week. And the minute I saw him, he comes running up to me and he says, "It's my honey mom," and he hugs my leg so tight and he starts crying. And at this point, I'm thinking about how difficult it's going to be to leave him in 7 days. We spent the whole week together. We did everything, you know, hanging out with family. He went with me to do our Christmas at my dad's house. My dad's family gets him presents, you know, because he really is my everything, and everybody knows that. Nobody's judged that. You know, me being super young and taking on a toddler, nobody had ever judged that. And so the day came where he had to go back. Oh man, it was so hard. I cried and cried. On the way there, I cried. I didn't want to. I didn't want to say goodbye. It will never get easier saying goodbye. But my hopes are that one day I will be able to bring him to Florida or wherever we go. That we'll be able to legally adopt him and raise him, and he'll be our family. Because he's my best friend. He connects so well with me and Alicia, and I just think that with everything that he's been through, he deserves a family and a home, and I want to be that for him. I just want to say that I'm super thankful for getting to know him and for him being in my life to begin with. JJ has taught me more things than any teacher, any person, any animal, anything. I love that little boy. He's the center of my world, him and Alicia, and I would give anything just to have him. So, JJ, if you ever stumble upon this video, I want you to know that Honeymon loves you, and I would do anything in my power to bring you here to Florida with me. I love you with my whole heart, and I know that one day everything is going to work itself out, and I can't wait for that day because I miss you so much, and I love you. Alright guys, that was an emotional one, but thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and comment them, or you can message me on Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff. It's down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.